fun, man. Geez, I don't even know how many times I've interviewed you right now. Probably about 5-6 times over the years.
Yeah, it's been a few times. I'm always grateful for your support and everything. And how have you been? How's you still DJing, doing your thing at metal clubs? And
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet on that side at the moment, but I'm still doing a little bit of part-time work here and there, DJing. Still doing the couch surfing show as well, but I thought I'd make this one a little bit more exclusive because we've got a lot to talk about here, especially with yourself. Let's break the big news to everyone, Adam. What's been happening with FRANKENBOK?
Well, I think everyone knows back in 2002, I left the band and didn't speak to the guys for nearly 20 years. And I was out at a gig with a mate, and we're at Cherry Bar. And as it turned out, FRANKENBOK was playing, and I thought, oh, this might be a bit awkward, but anyway. And then Aaron just walked up to me. Aaron's the founding member and guitarist of the band, if people don't know. He just walked straight up to me, looked me dead in the eye, shook my hand, just go, look, I just wanted to say I love your artwork and hope you're well and all that, and just sort of made amends with me. And I was quite taken back by that. And then a couple of days later, I get a friend request on Facebook, and we start chatting through Messenger. And then we did the inevitable phone call. And we're on the phone for like 3-4 hours and kind of made amends, and we had a really great chat and, hit the restart on our friendship. And, the whole let's bygones be bygones thing. We were both kids at the time when we fell out, and, so we sort of, we just made amends, and it's been great. And then they asked me to come back and do the FRANKENBOK 25-year anniversary show with all the members from the 5 sort of main lineups over the years, and that went really, really well. I didn't feel like I sang very well, but we got a really good response. But I hadn't been. You
sound right from the footage. You sound pretty good.
You're always your own worst critic, but yeah, I hadn't been on the stage, man, in like 12 years. So, and then basically after that, the singer Dan wanted to do like a dual recording with me and the band, and then it just kind of unfortunately fizzled. And unfortunately, I think it's just because Dan's been a bit preoccupied. I think he had some family stuff going on, but he also has put his energy into a new business venture. And so unfortunately, that's going to be taking up more of his time. And so FRANKENBOK was kind of getting pushed to the curb. So I think just so he didn't let the team down and there was no hard feelings, they decided to part ways. So Dan's going off to do his business thing. And I think they were going to almost get another singer or start up from scratch. And then Aaron just sort of hit me up and said, hey, man, do you want to come back and have a go at these songs? Because originally they were written for me and Dan to sing on. So yeah, I had a crack, and they're really happy with what we did, and it's sounding pretty cool. So here we are. I'm back in FRANKENBOK now after 20 plus years or something. So yeah.
Who'd believe that too? You think about the times of like greetings and salutations, loopholes, and the great excuses, and there was that big gap between that era too, where they've been for a few singers and that. But are you planning to play the old stuff, or is the new stuff going to be swindled in as well, or?
That's a good question. Basically, there has been a lot of lineup changes, and there's a whole bunch of albums and lots of songs. But to be honest with you, the band doesn't play much of it anymore. A lot of it's been put on the shelf and whatnot. So we're kind of re-exploring and dusting off and pulling out some of the stuff that was more from my era. I really love the Overdose album. So that's kind of, in my opinion, I think FRANKENBOK's best record. And so I'm kind of keen to do some of those songs. And there's a couple of songs here and there that we're doing, but we've got a bunch of new material we've been working on as well. So we're just, at the moment, we're just trying to get ready to have something. So when we come back, but it just depends on how busy we get. I think we're going to be more focused now on content. So creating more songs, putting out more singles and whatnot. And then I think with the live stuff, everybody's, they're all family men now. And, our bass player's just had a baby as well. So we plan to do gigs and a lot of them, but I think we'll be a bit more selective, and we'll just kind of see what happens, man. I guess it's all going to depend on how people take to these new songs. I mean, I'm pretty stoked with them. The band is too. It's very different. Got a little 5-step plan, and I think it's really going to fuck with people's heads a little bit, but at the same time remind people what FRANKENBOK was once about. And yeah, we'll see what happens, man. You can't predict these things, so yeah.
That's true. What was it like getting back in the studio with the guys after all these years? You've recorded this new stuff with the band, but what was it like to jump in the studio again with the guys after all this time? It must have been quite surreal.
The studio, fuck man, we don't really do that stuff. The band's quite proficient. Well, the band's quite proficient and do it yourself sort of thing. So they have a setup there. So the tracks were kind of recorded at their rehearsal space, and then that is kind of set up for recording as well. I actually did more of my vocals at home.
Okay.
I've got my own little recording set up, and so we've just done it very kind of guerrilla style, but I think with the first two singles that are coming out, like I think we kind of in our own way kind of captured a little bit of lightning in a bottle, and I didn't want to go back to a studio, and I know the guys in the band didn't either. I didn't want to go and mess with it, because I think once you start doing something, it's like a first draft, and it's great to go back and refine things, but I think you can get to this point where your over perfection holds you back. And the amount of fucking amazing musicians I know that have hard drives full of some of the fucking greatest metal you'll never hear, because they're sitting there fucking George Lucasing it every fucking 5 seconds and never sees the light of day. So we're not like that. We're more just about, let's get it done. Let's throw it out there. Let's see what sticks and what doesn't. And, we're not too proud to admit that, we're going to make mistakes and learn along the way. But if we can obviously find a process that works for us and is cost effective, time effective, we're going to try and do that. Gone are the days now when I'm giving some cunt fucking $30,000 to record my music, and it's just not realistic. It's not sustainable. And with people downloading and streaming, you're never going to see that money again. So, what can I say? I don't mean to sound jaded, but that's the truth of it. So we're having a great time. It's really fun, but we're doing it on our own terms, and I think it's the best it's been, I think, personally.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be quite busy too coming up. You've got the Alien Ant Farm support with CKY as well from Melbourne. That's in when's that happening? Is that in February or?
February 9th, actually, in Melbourne. We've definitely got the Melbourne show without letting the cat out of the bag, but I kind of am. We have put in for the rest of the tour, and we're just waiting to hear back to see if we get that, because it'd be great to kind of visit all the states and actually show our new material in front of a potential crowd, because these shows apparently have all nearly sold out. So it'd be good for us. It's just, again, it's about doing it smart and just jumping on the shoulders of giants and getting that exposure again, because we're not too proud to admit that we've been around for a long time, or the band has, and in some ways we kind of feel like we have to start again from scratch and reprove ourselves, and because the material again is different. I think with every singer or lineup change, the band does essentially change and grow, and some people that like the band sort of stick with it, and then some people don't like it and they disappear. So it's kind of been interesting, not to toot my own horn, but it sounds like a few people are coming out of the woodwork that are morbidly curious about what potentially the old FRANKENBOK is going to sound like, because you've essentially got 50% of the old ingredients. But again, it's different, but we're going back to that whole back to formula, but the fact that back to formula is there is no formula. We're just going to do what we want to do. We're going to move away from not just doing metal stuff. It's going to be fun again. We're going to incorporate everything, because between the four of us, we have such wide, diverse, vast taste in music. So why pigeonhole yourself into something? And that's the thing I'm all about in this band. I want everyone to kind of have their ideas fostered and nurtured, and let's go with it. So
well, that's the way FRANKENBOK's always been. You've always been about crossing boundaries ever since the heydays when you joined the band back in the days. And but each vocalist and each member too brings their own creative source to the band. So you're one of the most original bands and creative bands out there in Australia for sure. I have to definitely agree with that.
Yeah, no, it's been great, man. I mean, I after I left the band, I did step away. Morbid curiosity. Sometimes I would sort of tap in, especially when I was doing Firestar, and just see what they're doing, how they're going. Like even though we left the band on bad terms, I never wanted the band to split up or fail or anything. And the vocalist Adam B Metal after me, he did an amazing job. He's a really great singer and a different type. And they went in all these different directions. It's like I guess the silver pinball effect. Something happens to you and you bounce and rebound out of that, and you try different things. And Dan McDougall is actually the longest standing vocalist in the band, and he did a lot for them. He really got them into the whole do-it-yourself thing. He produced all their merch. He did most of their recording. So he's was quite a valuable asset of the band, which even though he's left as a vocalist, so I hope he will still stick around and help. He's actually, as we speak, mixing the new album that's coming out next year. So, it's there's no bad blood or anything. Like it's, cool. It's really good. I think this is the most healthiest FRANKENBOK has ever been, in my opinion, from what it sounds like. And we're all getting along really great. I feel like I understand Aaron a lot better now as a friend, and we've really worn our heart on our sleeves in these last, few months years actually now of hanging out. And, it's like I got my best friend back, or one of my best friends back. It's been really, really cool, man. So it's a really good thing. We're just having a lot of fun. It's really cool. I'm really excited and happy.
And it's fantastic to hear this too. It's great to see you back in action with the band there as well. I can't wait for this. I can't wait to see this and come back to Sydney eventually, hopefully, hopefully soon.
We plan to, man. Yeah, we'd love to. I mean, it's just the demand's there, and we'll see how people react to this stuff. But we definitely love playing live. We are a live band, and part of what you do is getting out and touring and stuff, and it's definitely what we want to do. But at the moment, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. We're really just focusing on reestablishing the band, getting tight again, getting these songs out, new merch. We've revamped the website. So if anyone's interested in anything Frankenbok related now, head to frankenbok.net. It's set up really cool now to buy our music, buy our merch, know what we're doing, news-wise, join our mailing list. And yeah.
Cool, man. Well, Alan, thank you so much for this chat, man. And we're looking forward to seeing the future with Frankenbok with you and the rest of the guys. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Cool, man. Thanks for having us. And just November 1st, the first single, Demon Tantrum, comes out. So hope you all dig it.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Ads.
Thanks for your time.